All right, we'll start with opening comments from Coach and then open up for questions.
Well, into the new season, NCAA play. It's what you work to get towards to have an opportunity to participate in this tournament, and our aim is to go and with the mindset of playing against an outstanding Butler team. Laval Jordan has done a tremendous job with them his first year there, and it's a team that scores in the 80s, and obviously we like to score as well. So it's a great matchup, and all teams in this tournament are really, really good. So we go off to Detroit. We'll head out of here tomorrow, and so we'll get prepared today. We'll have a workout today, and we'll work out in the morning, and then we'll head on over to Detroit, and again, just try to continue to get better. Just try to get better.
All right, Federated, we got a mic to you. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Mike, Daryl and Jalen were just talking about how much that last year's ending against North Carolina really drives them. I'm sure it drives everybody. Kind of, how does it drive you, and what's been your take on how it's motivated those guys, your guys all year?
I think the key is to learn from it. I think it's an experience. You never know how close you are to something, because of how it played out. North Carolina went on and won a national championship, and in a game where we're 3 minutes to go and we're up 5, and so we had to figure out how to close teams out, especially in this particular tournament, the caliber of teams that you're going to play, and I thought it's really helped us throughout this year. We've had a lot of close games, whether it be 3, 1 point, 5 points, where we had to make plays to finish it off, whether it be defensive play, offensive play, free throw line, taking a charge, somebody coming off the bench giving us big minutes. I think that's hopefully the thing they learn. And not only that, this is the time of year it's made for their team, with the depth, with guys playing meaningful minutes throughout the year. Somebody hopefully can emerge. Obviously we know about the guys that have had a tremendous year, and Daryl Macon, Jalen Barford, Daniel Gafford. But who would be that guy to break out for us in this setting? Would it be a guy like Darius Hall? Would it be like a guy like Gabe to help our basketball, or CJ? To me, that's the thing I hope to see somebody else emerge. Those guys continue to play at a high level. Trey Thompson continue to play at a high level. Depth's got to be a big key at this time of year, but the experiences that they had last year, they really got to utilize that this year. And I think the biggest key is just have a calmness about any situation, any adversity you're going to face. Just have a calmness about it.
Mike, I'm wondering if Daryl has always been as outgoing and had such a personality ever since you've known him, and then also if you could just describe kind of the impact that he's had on this team, some of the guys, like maybe helping Jalen come out of his shell, what he's done for Daniel, just all the guys.
I think you see a maturity in this team. At the beginning of the year, I talked about myself being comfortable with these guys. I thought coming into this season I was more comfortable knowing what we had. And hopefully maturity has trickled in. Sometimes you can talk about being a leader, and there are a lot of different things you can do to lead a team. And what you just talked about, him bringing guys out of their shells, him being more open. I think that's just maturity and getting comfortable, in your own skin in terms of what you're doing and your role on this basketball team. And I think it's. If you look at his season, here's a guy that, obviously last year he played well. This year, I had to do some juggling to get him to play at a high level, take some of the pressures away, and then I think it worked to help our basketball team and make him a better player and a better person. And I just think he embodies the right things now, and it's refreshing to see.
How much help are your forwards going to need from like Gafford and even the guards on Keelan Martin?
I think we all going to have to be aware of where he is, because he's a guy that has unlimited range. He can put it on the floor. I mean, he can shoot from 30 feet out. He can rise up over the guards and just pull up and shoot it. So we certainly, he's a guy capable of getting 30 to 40 points. He's one of the leading scorers in the country, not necessarily just in the Big East, in the country. And so he has certainly got to be a guy that whether we in the course of a game, obviously there are going to be some switching going on. Different guys are going to be on him, but we all got to be mindful that what kind of scorer he is, a prolific scorer, and we got to be able to keep him off the boards as well.
Butler doesn't turn the ball over a lot. I think they've had 10 games with under 10 turnovers. What's the key to making them uncomfortable?
Well, I think, they're a team that I think they got multiple guys that can handle the basketball. I think their strength is their versatility. Guys can handle the ball inside and outside. They open up the floor, and they're a skilled team. And so the only way you can try to speed them up. But they like to be sped up too. They like to score. So that's going to be the mystery. What can we do to stop them in terms of what they want to do? Just make them uncomfortable. We got to do that. And our defense is going to have to be at an all-time high in this particular game. And you can't put them on the free throw line. They shot 80%, I think, in conference play. So that tells you that, that you can't put them on the line. So we're just going to have to dig down deep and going to have to really, really guard and rebound the basketball.
Bob wrote about the conversation you had with their coach, I guess, out in Oregon this year and picking your brain and so forth. Do you remember asking anything about his team or how he goes about doing things or much else about the conversation?
No, it was just a general conversation. That's all. He was with Michigan when they came in here, and we went up there to play them in Michigan. He was one of the assistant coaches there. And then, of course, he went on, and I think he coached at Milwaukee for a year, and then now he goes back to his alma mater. So it's just, to me, it was just in general terms of, when you're in that position, that head coach. And I'll tell you what, he's real, real bright, very, very bright young coach, and you'll keep hearing his name. To go in and do what he did his first year in the Big East, that says a lot about him and what his team has accomplished this year.
Yeah, Mike, I think this is going to be your 18th NCAA tournament game. And
how many?
I think it's going to be your 18th as a coach. And I actually had a ton as an assistant coach and played in it at Tulsa. This is going to be, Jordan's first game, NCAA tournament game as a head coach. Do you think that gives you a decided advantage there? Or what does all that NCAA tournament experience do for you?
That don't mean anything. It's this game and this time, it don't mean anything. I guess when you play in so many tournaments, I just think that the conference tournament, it really kind of helps you as you get ready to go into this type of tournament. And not only that, we both were in the PK80 as well. That was like a Sweet 16 when you're playing in that particular setting. So I don't think it's no advantage. I mean, you just go do what you do. He'll have his team playing at a high level, and hopefully we'll be playing at a high level as well.
Okay. I think
another one? Okay.
I think you're 6-2 in first-round games as a head coach. I think that's right. And they're 10-1. Butler is with various coaches. Well, what's the key to being successful in that first round? Where there's so many unknowns and everything.
Well, I think the biggest problem is the unknowns and your guys going into it, and hopefully our guys had a little taste of that last year when we played Seton Hall. The nerves are going to be going. They're on a bigger stage, and it's more so the young guys, and it could be some of the older guys as well. But hopefully the guys that have been through it can help unnerve the younger guys, and they can go out and they're going to be nerves, butterflies. We all do that. But once the sweat start dripping, maybe they go ahead and play basketball. And one of the things I think, we keep everything simple, Bob. We continue to do the same things we've been doing all year long. The same things I've been preaching that you guys hear me talk about all the time, one game at a time. It's the same thing as we get ready to go here. So nothing changed, and we want to get better. We want to get better from the last game we played. Like I said, in the SEC tournament, I thought, South Carolina, from that game to the Florida game, I thought we got a lot better. And I thought in the Tennessee game, I thought we took a step back. And fatigue had something to do with that, the quick turnaround. But I thought in the second half, I saw our team again, and that's what I want to see. I want to see us play with that edge, that energy, that enthusiasm, guys coming off the bench and giving us something. And again, I like how we've been playing, and obviously we got to play even at a high level in this tournament, because if you don't get past it, you put them up, you're done for the season. So it's another big game. It's the biggest game on our schedule right now.
You mentioned the bench and the depth that you have. How critical is it to get positive minutes, whether that's rebounds, points or anything else statistically you look out from those guys?
I think when we've been our best, I think our benches play well. I think guys like Orlando Cook has come in and played well for us. CJ, Darius. I thought Darius had a very good tournament for us, and I think that's going to propel him as we get ready to go in the NCAA tournament. Gabe is giving us some quality minutes, so I think it's important because it allows those guys that start out to get rest, and then they can finish up strong. And we saw that big with Daniel in the game the other night when Trey came out and gave us some quality minutes, and then I think he was able to finish the game off in a fine fashion. Even Barford's a guy that he can go 4 minutes or 5 minutes, but once he hits that 6 minute, man, he's going to take a break on one of the ends, as well as a guy like Darryl. And we've got to continue to identify that and get those guys in to kind of lift us up or maintain us where we're at.
I guess the starting guards, just Baldwin and Thompson, and then also Jorgensen off the bench. How have they done against pressure defenses that you've seen on film?
Well, they've been pretty good. I think they, obviously teams don't apply it the way we do it, but they've been pretty good. They played Villanova, and as the stats say, they only turn it over like 9 or 10 times a game. The Baldwin kid is really, really good. He can go. He's a left-handed kid. He can go left. He can go right. He can score. He can distribute. Both of those guys, I think, are getting over 100. Have gotten 100 assists throughout the year. He and Thompson. Thompson is more of a distributor, defender, and the Jorgensen kid, he's got, that 30-foot range of shooting the basketball and just plays real, real hard. This team here is a blue collar type team, and that's why I think the guard play is going to be critical in this game here. How we defend their guards, and obviously they're going to say how they defend our guards.
Mike, now that you're going to the tournament for the third time in 4 years, just overall, how good do you feel about where you're at, and how proud are you from how far it's come since you got here for this season and just moving forward?
Well, this was a vision. That's what I talked about. In my mind, we've been tracking that way for many, many years, and so as we continue to get to this point, obviously we want to go beyond this point, and that's that next level that I'm talking about. But I got to give credit to our coaches, our assistant coaches. They've done a tremendous job of going out and finding quality kids that come in here and that's going to learn and develop and get better. The culture has changed, and our guys expect it now. I think as you talk to these guys, they expect to win. When they go out and play each and every game, they expect to win, and that's a mindset, and that's something that's. When I think about Scotty Thurman, that bunch, when I think about Ron Urey in that bunch, when I think about Big O in that bunch, that was their mindset, and that's what we're getting to with these guys here. And so it's something as a assistant coach, associate coach, I was involved with, but we're not through yet. I think there's a whole lot of room to continue to push and grow.
Yeah, Mike, kind of piggybacking on Kurt's question. I mean, you go into UAB, it's down. You go to 3 NCAAs. Go to Mizzou, it's in the toilet. I know that. You go to 3 NCAAs. Come here, it's down. Now you 3 and 4 years. You obviously have a blueprint that works. What's kind of your philosophy and bluept for taking programs that are down and bringing them back up?
I think it starts in recruiting, and not only that, guys got to see your vision. And one of the words I've used since I've been here, patience. There's no quick fixes to it, and we've had some bumps along the way, and you guys have you covered it, and even as we got to this point, I mean, just think about it. We getting ready to get to the SEC tournament, and one of the guys that started in the tournament last year, he's not even here. He's not playing right now. He's still in school, and I'm talking about Dustin Thomas. But yet, when you have a program, when you got a team, a true team, that thing keeps going. It's somebody else's opportunity to step up. A lot of teams that could deflate. It could deflate them. And but with our guys and with the program, and that's what I want. I don't want to flash in the pan, 1 year, 2 year. And I want something that's going to be of substance, because that's the standards here are very, very high. Eddie Sutton, Coach Richardson, they were tremendous standards here, and I was a part of that. So that's the thing that keeps me up at night. That keeps me enthused about what we're doing and keep me excited about what we're doing. And then when I hear it from the people, from our fans about this particular team, it kind of inspires me even more to make it happen.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay.